Once again, it's on, and this is another episode of the Relationship Rehab. I'm your boy Brian Redmond, and what we're gonna be talking about today is baggage in relationships. So, baggage in relationships. A lot of people sometimes will mention the fact that hey, this person has old baggage, or this person, has a lot of baggage and things like that. And I think that we kind of have gotten away from the true concept of what baggage is when we're talking about relationships. So I want to touch on that real quick. So what is baggage? In my humble opinion, I would say that baggage is basically like your emotions from past relationships. It can be habits from things that you learned learned habits that you have from past relationships, or it could be behaviors or patterns that you have established in your previous relationships that you've had, and just other things that you've had from your life experience that can cause you to behave in a certain way or think a certain way. It's just basically a lot of things that has happened in your past that have caused you to be the person that you are today, and can actually explain a lot of the reasons why you behave the way that you behave today. So when we're talking about that baggage and bringing that baggage into your new relationships and that previous baggage, one of the things that because we all have baggage, first and foremost, let me get that out there. We all have baggage. The problem I think that occurs is that sometimes we don't handle our baggage correctly, if you will. So when you're talking about how do you handle baggage, what do you do with your baggage? Your baggage is something that you yourself, first and foremost, have to carry. So it's like that, your baggage that you have in your relationship, and the baggage that you bring into your relationships, this baggage that you have to carry. The thing is that we run into the problem to where we have too much baggage, or our bags are too heavy to carry, and it gets us to the point to where we can't move around, and we can't function in other relationships because we have too much baggage. Because at the end of the day, when you do get the baggage that you do acquire over time and just over experiences and just throughout life, that baggage that you have when you get into new relationships, especially when you're talking about lifelong relationships, then there has to be a point where you have to unpack that baggage. And that is, in my opinion, is where the problems may start. Because sometimes we tend to hide our baggage. We tend to not pack our baggage correctly to carry. So it's a problem when we're bringing that baggage into the relationship already in the door. Or sometimes we don't know when it's the right time to unpack that baggage. And also, we, in some cases, want others to carry our baggage. So I'm gonna hit those few things real quick. So when we're talking about hiding baggage, what is hiding baggage? Basically what it means. If you got something that's going on, or you have some experience that you've had, and it's something that you've been hiding from a relationship that you've had for a while, and in that relationship there are certain things that are happening because of the baggage that you are hiding. You're behaving a certain way because of the baggage that you're carrying that you haven't unpacked yet. If your baggage is impacting your relationship, then it is your duty as the baggage carrier and as the baggage handler to unpack that baggage with your loved one, or the one that you're in a relationship with, so they can actually see it. So the thing is that sometimes too, we tend to bag the wrong things. We tend to carry the wrong things. There are some things that you don't need to have in your baggage. There are some things that you don't need to carry. Some things you have to let go in life. Some things you may even need to be delivered from in life because they are too heavy to carry. And they're too heavy to the point to where, number one, you can't carry them. So you are not able to function properly in relationships because of this heavy bag that you're carrying, or this heavy bag that you're trying to pull into this relationship, and pull around as you move around in these different relationships. It's just too much, and it's a burden to you to where you can't function. Another thing too is that sometimes we have certain things in our baggage that we are embarrassed to actually unpack. If it's something in your bag or in your baggage that you're carrying, that's something that you can let go because you've been delivered from, let it go and be delivered from it. So when you do unpack it and you do put that thing on the table, it's already something that's already packaged up in a container already. So it's not anything that you have to deal with because it's already been dealt with, you've already been delivered from it, and now you can move it off to the side. However, when you do have those things in your baggage that have not been dealt with, you have those things in your baggage that need to be dealt with between you and your partner, or in those that you're in relationship with, then it needs to be something to where say, hey, it's a situation to where, hey, this is what I need to show you, this is what I need to let you know what I'm going through and what I've been carrying so that you can better understand me. And those are things that we all have and that we all have to share and that we all must share. So you can't have a perfectly packed bag, if you will. Everybody's baggage is different and everybody has different things in their bag. And sometimes you may have things that that you may have in common with each other, which is why you can be in relationship with each other, which is why, sometimes you can have people help carry that load, but you need to be the one that can shoulder that load and carry that bag and be able to put it on the table and be able to unzip it and to be able to unpack it so that those people that you are in a relationship with can truly know what it is that you carry every day. And those things that you don't need to carry, then that's where your work is, to get rid of those things. Because even in previous episodes, I've talked about the whole trusting thing. When you have that trust, first and foremost, then you're not ashamed to unpack that bag. You may be a little apprehensive, but because you trust that person, you can unpack it and put those things that you have in your bag on the table. Clean up those things and get rid of those things that don't need to be in your bag, but don't be ashamed of what you have in your bag, because we all have things in our bags that we may be ashamed of or may not want to show someone, but we may need to show those that are closest to us so that they can better understand us. So that's pretty much my thing on bags. Those habits that you have, those are the things that you have to show. Those emotions as to why you behave a certain way and why you feel a certain way, those are things that you have to show, and you have to show that baggage and unzip that bag to show people why. It could be something where, hey, I behave this way because I was maybe molested as a child, or I may have been raped as a child, or I may have been beaten, I may have had some form of child abuse. Unpacking that particular type of baggage is something that you have to do so that that person that you're in a relationship with can better understand you. I've had trust issues, which is something that I have to pull out my bag and put on that table and say, hey, this is something that I'm dealing with, and this is something that I have in my bag that I need you to know that's there and know that I'm carrying it, so you'll know why I'm behaving this way when it comes to certain things. So those are the things that you have to be conscious of, and you have to be willing to show that other person so that they can have a better understanding with you. And that all plays a part into the whole transparency thing too, because we tend to carry things in our bag that we don't want people to see, and we hold those things in. Oh, I don't want them to see this, they can't know this about me. But at the end of the day, you're gonna notice something's up because that person isn't moving the way that they should be in a relationship, because they're so busy dragging this bag. They're so busy holding this heavy bag, and it's hindering your movement and your freedom in that relationship. So when you can unshoulder that bag and put it on the table and put those things out there, then now you put yourself in a position to where you can be transparent and you can have that that honesty to where somebody can help you with those things that you've already unpacked, and can deal with those things that you've already unpacked. And in some cases, it may be too much. There are instances where, hey, what you carrying in your bag, I can't deal with. And that's not a bad thing. There are some things that we as those counterparts in a relationship may not be equipped to handle that you have in your bag, and it's unfair for you to not give that person the full transparency to say, this is something that I'm carrying, I don't know if you can deal with that. I don't know if this is something that you're equipped to deal with emotionally, something you're able to process. So I need to definitely make sure that I'm up front with that, and I put those type of things on the table. So, and I'm not talking about somebody that you've only been out with for 3 days and say, look, I got some things I got to get off my chest, let me unpack my bag. No. That's not who you unpack your bag with. But unpacking your bag with those people that you have invested time with, have trust with, that's who you do it with. And if you can keep that thing at the forefront of your mind to know that it's something that you have to do and you're willing to do it, and that person is in it just as much as you are, it'll work out. This is the relationship rehab. I hope that what I said here today is going to help you become a better version of yourself. Because at the end of the day, that's what we all do this for. Because each one of us are going to make ourselves better so that we can change the world together. I'm your boy Brian, and this is the relationship rehab. And I'm out.